Welcome to video 4 of my Starting a WordPress blog series. In this video, we are going to talk a little bit about the WordPress dashboard and give you an overview of that. In our last video, we actually installed a WordPress instance within GoDaddy. And the original intent of the next video, this one here, was to get in and start configuring that WordPress blog. As I started going through some things, I realized it might make a little bit more sense to give an overview of the WordPress dashboard, especially for those that have never seen that before or have never played around with it. So if you're comfortable enough in understanding the WordPress dashboard, you can jump forward to the next video where we will actually start configuring our WordPress installation. In this video here, we'll focus on the WordPress dashboard to give everybody an overview of that and get a little more comfortable with things before we get into the actual customization of the blog. So a few topics we want to cover here. We will walk through accessing your WordPress dashboard. We did that in the last video, but I am going to show you how to do it again here. We'll talk a little bit about the anatomy of a WordPress blog. It will help you understand what a WordPress blog, what the different sections are within a WordPress blog, because each of those sections are things that you can configure independently within the WordPress dashboard. And then finally, we'll start walking through the different items available to you within the WordPress dashboard and what you can start configuring. In our last video, we installed a WordPress instance, a brand new WordPress instance within our GoDaddy hosting plan. As a reminder, that blog we set up was called Riding a Triumph. And if we enter that URL into our browser here and hit enter, you'll see we just have a plain old blog set up with some generic theme, a sample post, and that is about it. So how do you get access to the WordPress dashboard? Well, it's really quite simple. If we go back up here to the URL, right after our domain name, you'll enter a / and the keyword is WP-admin. Hit enter, and that will take you to the login screen for your blog. You'll use the credentials you created when you installed the blog within GoDaddy. If you remember, you actually entered an administrator name as well as a password, and that's what you'll enter here. So in our case, our administrator name was RAT admin for Riding a Triumph. And our password was something that I changed since I had it in the video. But you'll enter your password there, hit login, and it takes you to the dashboard. So let's take a look at the anatomy of a WordPress blog. What you're looking at here is a personal blog that I have, and we'll use this to get a better understanding of what different components there are to that blog. So the first thing to understand is each blog has its own look and feel, and that look and feel is driven by something called a theme. There are a number of themes you can download for your WordPress blog, and each of those themes will personalize your blog to the way you want to have it set up. And I'm going to warn you, you'll drive yourself batty because there are so many themes out there and so many different ways that you can configure things. And when we get into the configuration of our blog, we'll talk a little bit more about that. So now that we understand the theme will drive the look and feel of your blog, let's talk about the different sections within that theme that you can configure. Up here at the top, where I have Craigerson, motorcycles, technology, and more, this is your header section. and you can configure that header section. Typically that's what your blog is called, as well as a little footnote for that blog. My theme here gives the user the capability to search my site for something specific that they may be looking for. So underneath the header, you have a menu system, and this is fully configurable. I've got my home. If I want to go right to my blog, I click on that, and this is all my blog posts. I can go back home here. I've got a links page, contact page, and an about page. And I guess the other thing you'll want to understand is a blog can be made up of blog posts, which are identified by these items here. And if you want to click on a post, it takes you into the detail of that post. And the other thing to note is if you go up here and click on the header, that'll take you back to home. The other thing a blog is made up of is something called a page. And a page is a little different from a blog post, and that is it gives you the ability to write content, but it is different in that you don't have the other things a blog post may have. For example, I don't have comments here, whereas if you look at a blog post, you can see the ability to leave a comment. And it also has this sidebar information over here, whereas my page does not. So it's just a little bit different way of presenting something. If you look over here, my home page actually is, my theme allows me the ability to customize my home page. Again, each theme is a little bit different, so a theme you may go with may not have this flexibility. Other themes do. Over on the right-hand side, this is known as a sidebar. So it's different. Let's actually go over here and look at a post. So within a post, I have my sidebar, and I can configure this sidebar to be on the right the way it is now, or over here on the left. And the sidebar is made up of, in my case, different sections. You can configure your sidebar to look like anything you want. In my case here, I have a section for advertisements. I've got my top posts, and I've got my categories that I want to highlight here. And then if we continue to scroll down within my post, and this one is a bit of a long one, we'll see our comments. And then all the way down at the bottom, you'll see a footer page. And again, you can configure your footer page to contain any information you want. In my case, I've got some legal stuff related to Amazon services, their affiliate program, tags that give you the ability to click on to see different posts that I may have, and we'll talk about tags a little bit later, as well as my copyright information. So that is the anatomy of a blog here. Now that you understand that, we can get into how we actually go about configuring your blog. So this is where you will configure everything for your blog. And the main page for the dashboard when you log in is the dashboard. And it gives you an at a glance view of any posts, comments, pages that you have running, what theme you're running, what recent activity there is, recent comments. You can start creating a quick draft of your next WordPress post here, some upcoming events that are going on, and you can configure this to look like anything that you want. So your first question may be, wait a minute, we just installed this blog. How do we have a post and a page and a comment? And if you remember, when we looked at that sample blog that was created, and if we go back to it, you can access it here by clicking on Visit Site, and it'll take us to our site. You'll see we have a post, a sample post that was created, and if you click on this, you'll see our sample post here, a sample comment, the ability to add a new comment, and it said there was a page. I don't know what that page looks like. But if you want to go back to your dashboard, just go up here to the top section here and you can click on dashboard again and it'll take you back to your dashboard. So that gives you the ability to jump between your blog and your dashboard if you're configuring things or adding new information or creating a new post to see how that will look like on your blog. So let's see what the page was here that's created. Oh, it's an about page. And you can easily go through here and see a little shortcut to do some things. And why don't we trash this here? Go back to our dashboard. I don't want this post, so let's trash that post. What else do we have in our dashboard here? Updates. So this will give you a quick view into what updates are available. This page will give you an easy view into any themes that are on your blog that have updates available. If WordPress itself has an update available, if any of your plugins have an update available. And we'll talk about all of that in later videos. But you want to pay attention to this page because every so often, new security updates are rolled out within WordPress or your theme or plugins, and you want to make sure you have the latest and greatest to protect your blog against potential hackers. So in our case here, you can see we have the latest version of WordPress available. It gives you an option to reinstall it if you want. If there was a new version available, it would be posted here. You can see it defaulted. There was a plugin installed for us, and we'll talk about plugins in a later video. But it shows me that I've got version 3.3.3 installed. There's a new update, 3.3.4. I can click on this to see the details of what is in 3.4. Tells me if it's compatible with the version of WordPress I'm running. Down here, you'll see if there's any updates to your themes or any translations that you may have on your blog. So this is an important section that you want to remember. The post section gives you the ability to add a new post. In our case here, we do not have any. I deleted that sample post that was out there. I can create new categories and tags. And what this gives you the ability to do is categorize things. So if we go back to my sample blog here, you'll see that I had categories around blogging, development, motorcycles, whatever. And if I click on blogging, I will see all posts that I filed under the blogging category. And if I click on that post and scroll down to the bottom here, I believe, you can see that it is filed under blogging with the following tags. So I created a blogging category and I created tags for AWS hosting, EC2 instance, Elastic IP. Categories and tags give you the ability to further classify information on your blog. So let's go back to the dashboard here. The media section is any images or other files that you will use on your blog. And we're going to jump back and forth between my sample blog here. And if we scroll down, I have an image here that I created that is part of the media library within here. So as I created a post, I also created images to go along with that post. Those images are stored in the media library within your WordPress dashboard. And then you can use that image in a blog post, in a page, or any other blog post or page that you create. Pages are very similar to posts. And remember in the example that I was showing us here, let me get out of here and scroll up to my header menu. My About page is a page in my blog. So you can add different pages within your blog to show as part of the menu structure here. Comments give you the ability to manage comments on your blog. So when people visit your blog and leave you a comment, you can manage those comments here. Appearance, we'll get into this extensively as part of our customization and how we configure our blog. You'll see you can customize the theme that you're using. You can change the theme you're using here. You can customize that theme, add widgets, menus, your header, and if you're interested, you can actually edit the code for any of the different things on your blog. And since you're just starting off, this is something you will not want to do. Plugins give you the ability to further customize your blog. We'll talk about that extensively in another video. Users give you the ability to change an existing user or create a new user. This is the default user we created when we installed our blog. And if we go into this, you can customize this and add your name and so forth. You can change your password. Doesn't give you the ability to change your username, but if you wanted to add a new user, you can do that here. Tools are another way of customizing your blog. Different tools are available. And then your main settings page, which gives you the ability to configure settings, general settings, settings around how you write, what people see when they read, discussion, permalinks, and so forth. And as you add different plugins to your blog, the settings for those specific plugins will show up here, and we'll talk about all of that in a later video. So that is a quick overview of the WordPress dashboard. In our next video, we're going to continue to play around in the WordPress dashboard, and we will actually start configuring things. So be sure you subscribe. You do not want to miss any future videos. Hope to see you in the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.